On this episode of the Red Eye Report, we talk about tricky shit armies did. We also have to hear some stories from Ashtray, and we listen to Teddy try to flounder through an intro that he didn't write. So here we go. With us this week is the Ashtray. Ashtray's he accused me of not getting out because I didn't give a fuck about some fucking 16-year-old continuing to fucking crash, fucking pedophile.
Oh.
But hey, you
not a pedophile. That wasn't what you
back to fucking people in the face, fucking locally. And then there's Oracle. He's been doing a great job taking care of the potato because it's still alive, hopefully.
Well, I think so. Makes sounds occasionally. Yeah.
Are you an absent father?
Yeah. I just make my wife do everything. I just put on like blinders. I'm like, sorry, I'm not here. I don't see anything.
I'm a podcaster and a gamer.
And then there's Mistic. Mystic's a strong, silent type, and he doesn't like small talk, and he's ready to get the shit over with. And then there's me. I'm Teddy Rick, bitch. Woo, Teddy Rick. Teddy Rick.
That's awesome.
Like every show, we like to start off with our weekly benefit for the was it Dane County?
Dane County Humane Society.
Dane County Humane Society.
Right. The only county that accepts these poor bastard animals.
Poor fucking bastard animals. This week we have Checkers, the retarded Dalmatian. He doesn't have spots; he has squares. And Dalmatians are not known for being friendly to kids, but kids always try to make checkers on him, and he bites them.
Right.
It's not good for him. So we got to find him a home.
Already dopey. Imagine how dopey he looks. He's square.
He's fucking square.
That's actually pretty cool. I wonder if at some point somebody will CRISPR a freaking Dalmatian to have
with square spots.
Checkers is an innovator. Yeah. He's ahead of his time.
That's true. Ahead of his time. Right.
He's a genetic freak of nature is what he is. Don't try to play God.
Don't judge his corner.
So I came across this YouTube video about this cool shit, weird shit that armies did back in the day. Most of them are war crimes. But we're going to
most of them.
War crimes.
Probably all of them on today's standards.
I think one is probably. I think there's a couple that's probably going to be war crimes. First, we're going way back at time, 525 BC, known as the Battle of Pelusium. We have this. This is given to us. The historical, the historical story comes from Herodotus, a Greek historian.
Yeah.
So this
war, an old stone.
Yep. So this war was between Pharaoh Amasis II of Egypt and Cambyses II of Persia. And the story goes that Cambyses he asked the Pharaoh of Egypt for a physician to help him out with something. The physician, so the Pharaoh sent him a physician, but the physician didn't want to go. So he decided to start some little trouble. And decided to tell the Cambyses, the king of Persia, hey, why don't you ask for the Pharaoh's daughter in marriage? but the Pharaoh
sounds like a TMZ drama.
I know, right? It's always over pussy. So the Pharaoh didn't want to give his daughter to a Persian to marry. So what he decided to do was give the daughter of the Pharaoh before him, the one he killed and defeated. He said his daughter.
Easy. Yeah, leftover daughters from the Persian that killed before me.
So Cambyses did not like this. Persians are on the rise. They're taking people's shit. They're looking over those pyramids saying, what size of pyramids, bro? My size, run it.
Yeah, right. What kind of constellation prize is this?
What size Sphinx that, homie? It look good on my car. So so he starts to invade Egypt. The tricky thing about this is he did it at the Battle of Pelusium. He did it in kind of a tricky way. He took hostages, but not the kind of hostages that you think. The Egyptians, they are known for the love of one animal in particular. Like a lot of them are considered sacred. There's one animal in particular that is considered sacred. Can anybody guess what it is?
Cats.
Cats. Way to go.
Yeah, that's nice.
So in Egypt, like hurting a cat, killing a cat, especially killing a cat, it's over. Cats are the sacred animal of Bastet. She's the goddess of fertility, childbirth and and protection of the family or protection of the household or whatever. So what Cambyses did was he had his soldiers collect a bunch of fucking cats, and also he had them paint cats on the shields, because even defiling an image of a cat is considered sacrilege and shit. And so
so he did graffiti cats on his own weaponry. Like he basically took a bunch of cats, rounded up the strays, and then
also had
spray paint really crude kitty pictures, slutty cats on my shield.
Yeah, slutty cats if you want to. They just did regular cats. I mean, you got a dirty mind. Slutty cats is where it went. Way to go. And then it proceeded to fuck these guys up. The Egyptians lost about 50,000 in the battle.
Damn.
The Persians lost about 7,000. They ended up chasing.
Wait, 50,000 to 7,000? Damn.
Yeah. The Persians lost 7. The Egyptians lost 50.
That's a big ass battle for back then.
Yeah.
That is a big ass battle.
That's what slutty cats will do.
Anyway, the Egyptians ended up running back to Memphis. Pharaoh Myers II ended up running back to Memphis, where they were besieged. Cambyses came and besieged them and everything, took it over. And he actually let the Pharaoh live under Persian, watch and shit. But the Pharaoh ended up dying. I've heard conflicting stories. Some say it was execution.
Dying.
Some say
it was quotes.
Yeah, it come with quotes. Yes. Some say it was execution. Some say he committed suicide. But the one thing is for sure that they said he was being treated well. Like he what do you do? A coup. Try to take his shit back.
Mm-hmm.
God,
so wait, he was caught up in a coup.
No.
Coup against him, or
he got captured by the Persians. They let him live. They let him live. They said they treated him well.
Oh.
God damn, what's the fucking word I'm looking for here? I can't think about it. It's when they try to fight back from inside,
like an insurrection.
Oh, yeah, sort of come like that. Yeah, it failed, and so some people say he committed suicide after that. Some people say they killed him. But the tricky part was, using these animals against the Egyptians, because they it's
they're kitties.
You can't. I mean, I can't stab if this is kitty. Then you got an arrow come at your ass. And that was one of the things the Egyptians they didn't fire any arrows because they didn't want to hit any cats.
What a bunch of fucking idiots!
I mean, right?
What the fuck? Get over it. Like, I know this makes you a little uncomfortable, but fucking get over it.
Right? Like they knew that in the future how much flack they would get on fucking Twitter and TikTok.
Yeah, for killing cats. Yeah,
cats.
For killing a fucking cat.
Cats still have power. They
do have power. Let me move my fucking notes here. Next up, we have the British invasion of Tibet, also known as, God damn it, go down. Thank you. Fucking hate this. The massacre of Chumanchenko. So it's 1903. The British, they are in firm hold of India, and they're kind of in a dance with Russia because they it's Britain. They wouldn't mind taking some more land, but also Russia's taking up land. It's 1903.
Dancing with Russia is hard.
So they were looking at Nepal, and they were looking at Tibet, which is funny because Tibet was a Chinese protectorate, but because it's full of mountains and shit, China just didn't they kind of left them alone. So the Viceroy George Nathaniel Curzons, who was the head in India, the British head in India, tries to be friendly with Tibet because he fears that the Russians are going to get an army and come down through Tibet. But his people are telling him no army's going to come down through those mountains. You can't get a fucking army down through the Himalayas. I mean, nobody's going to fucking try that shit.
Yeah, right.
But he doesn't really really listen to those guys. And then he starts to hear rumors that Tibet is working with Russia. But again, they're not doing this. It's fucking it's Britain. They just want the land. So he amasses about 3,000 soldiers of Indian and Britons. And they have the state of the art equipment. They had 2 machine guns that were like state of the art back then. And they were just looking for a reason to attack Tibet. Lo and behold, they hear of some Tibetan soldiers coming into Nepal, which is right close to next to them on their border. So they're like, oh shit, they're coming for us. let's go attack. Turns out those soldiers from Nepal were shepherds. And because they had rifles, they were considered they considered them soldiers. So they decided to invade Tibet.
Right? Look at them. They had guns. They're pointing right at us.
Yeah, no, right. So they get into Tibet and they come across the village of Guru where it's a roadblock by 3,000 Tibetan soldiers. So there's 3,000 English and Indian soldiers, 3,000 Tibetan soldiers. The thing is, the English soldiers, they were armed with the bolt action rifles and the machine guns. The Tibetans were mostly farmers. They did have some monks that they had they had swords and stuff, but they had matchlock muskets and things. They wouldn't let the British pass. But the general at the time, his name was Francis Younghusband. He decided to say this. So the story goes, he decided to be peaceful and said, "Hey, if you all wet your wicks and stuff, so you can't fire us, we will take our guns, unload our guns, and we'll have a nice little talk, have a cup of tea, have a talk,
right,
a biscuit."
So apparently, the minute their wicks were wet, he ordered his guys to fire. The battle lasted about 4 minutes. They say anywhere between 700 and 900, 700 1,200 people on the Tibetan side were killed.
Damn.
Were killed. The Brits, how many do you think of them got killed?
Like
2.
1.
None, actually. There were 12 injuries.
12 injured, yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, they probably
ankle.
tripped over rocks or something.
Rocks or something.
Yeah, right. Because they got all excited, like, I ain't getting the shoe. Right. Oh, it's a turkey shoe. Oh, the guy's got the good firing positions.
It became known as it became known as the Massacre of Chumanchenko. Before a long battle. I'm sorry.
What year was this again?
1903.
3.
6 months later, they continued on into Tibet. 6 months later, Tibet was forced to sign a treaty where they had to pay Britain and also cede a portion of land. So they gave up kind of like the southern part of it because the Brits are already taken over Burma, and there was something else they had taken over around Tibet because but there
colonization.
There is some people say I've come across some websites to say this is a myth that was done to make the Britons look worse than it was, because no matter if those guys had fired with those little matchlock pistols and shit, they were unmatched with technology, so it would have been a rout either way. But some people say that they made this kind of myth up just to make Britain look bad, but they were colonizing the Britons weren't bad. Yeah, so
you think of that too, and think of how many stories of fucking terrible shit that Britain did that never made any headlines because it was so long.
Britain doesn't need help to look
bad.
Look bad,
right?
Yeah, I mean they did the opium wars
Prince
in fucking China half a century prior to that. They fucked those people over big time.
Yeah. Dude, they fucked over half the fucking world for 1,000 fucking years.
I hope Meghan Markle fucking tweets about us trashing her husband.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're not on Meghan Markle's freaking radar.
Who's Meghan Markle? Oh, the fucking bitch that married the guy.
Yeah, her Harry.
The bitch that married the guy.
Affair with we're too good to be fucking royals, but at the same time, oh shit, we can't make any money other than talking the royals.
Dude, my wife wanted to get up to watch that wedding. I was like, why?
Oh,
why the
God,
fuck?
I don't get it.
3 o'clock in the morning to watch this
She's got that
wedding.
suit money, man.
She ain't getting shit from suits by nowadays.
I know. I'm fucking with you.
Right. Moving on to some United States shit.
Fucking castles. Like she's bitching now. Like fuck.
And I don't give a fuck what they say. You know goddamn well Harry has money.
Oh yeah, they just came out with some freaking thing where somehow they looked at like how much money he was pulling down. And it was some insane like $160,000 an hour or something.
Yeah, because he has property. Like he may not get money from the royal family, but he still is like some sort of fucking property owner in England.
That is awesome. I don't care about the royal family. Moving on. Just some American shit.
You should.
Teddy.
Some American shit.
Because America cares.
America right here. It's called Project Eldest Son. Has anybody heard of this?
Never heard of it.
Oh.
Ever heard of it? It was in Vietnam, 1967, 1969. So the United States, there was a MACV-SOG. It was a group of special covert ops guys that would go behind enemy lines and sabotage. But they found out. When they found ammunition at things, ammunition stores, if they blew it up, it would usually just scatter the ammunition. It wouldn't really destroy it.
Yeah.
So Colonel John Singlob, he came up with an idea to create explosive bullets. Pretty much, they took. I wish I should have brought it around now, because most of the Viet Cong use the just to show you all, but with the round thing. Everybody knows a bullet looked like the little
bullet
part
yeah.
and thinking about it back. Okay, so what they did was they replaced the back part instead of the powder. They replaced it with a flash detonator with plastic explosives. The AK-47 uses a 7.62 round, which when you shoot it has a blast PSI of like 45,000. But what this did was move it to 250,000, which that barrel could not take.
So it would just blow the gun up.
Blow the fucking gun up. And if you're shooting a gun, and that bullet's pretty much right here in that chamber.
Blow your eye out.
It was So 12,000 rounds of those were made, and they also did mortars to where they did 2,000 morters. They do the same thing. Then when you drop,
to somehow sneak them into the ammo supplies.
So the thing was, these MACV-SOG guys, so what they would do was they would go and they would place a bullet or two in each ammo case, whatever. And if they found and they also had magazines already with one bullet in it. They made sure they only used one bullet in each kind of thing, because it'd be kind of a waste of time to put two bullets in one. But also, if they did that, they feel like it would be easily found out. About 12,000 rounds of the 7.62, 2,000 mortars, and they went back behind enemy lines and planted them. They don't know exactly how many went off and everything else, but what they were really trying to do with this was, they say, was to sow distrust, because Vietnam was getting his AK-47s from China. And so what they started to do is they started to broadcast on the GI radio and stuff like, don't use any of the weapons or mortars that you get from the Viet Cong. Don't use any.
They're all dangerous.
And they would say they're dangerous. They're faulty. They've been known to blow up and stuff and blah 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 blah, because they're getting it from China, and the Viet Cong were listening on our radio and shit. So it kind of helped sow distrust between those two.
Huh? Yeah, that's crafty.
Well, not even just that, but think of the soldiers.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't want to be firing that motherfucker if the next bullet's going to blow my head off.
Yeah.
Well, they couldn't tell the soldiers. They couldn't tell the soldiers that the bullets were going to blow their head off, because the Viet Cong were listening. So they had to do it in a kind of a secretive way. So, but I mean, imagine shooting AK, a line of seven Viet Cong shooting, and fucking like two guys AKs blow up in their faces and shit. And you hear the United States, they printed false documents and stuff that they wanted to get captured or taken, that showed that the Chinese AK-47s were inferior and stuff. And
interesting.
Yeah, they say that the United States also used this in Afghanistan, because they use AK-47s. They say they redid this trick. I didn't look into how they did it, but that's.
Well, it makes sense. They were getting them from Russia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and think how much easier it would be to nowadays create that like viral distrust.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Behind the scenes of your weapon supply.
Right.
Yeah. Russian does it all the time.
Oh, I imagine there's just huge psyop stuff going on constantly.
Oh yeah.
Now, because it's so fucking easy.
Spy game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like cyber warfare is spy nowadays. It's not fucking.
And it's also
Brad Pitt rolling around fucking.
Russia pioneered the whole. I can't remember what the fucking term is, but basically, like, you create so much. You actually even admit openly that we're fudging this. That you create everyone to know that you're fucking with shit. So much so that everyone assumes you're fucking with shit, and no one can tell.
Yeah, it inflates, kind of your presence and your power.
Yeah.
Right.
So in 1969, they this got found out by the press, and it kind of got leaked. So they had to rename it. They renamed it Italian Green Pole. Then they had to rename it again.
Italian Green Pole. What a late name, Italian Green.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why they came up with these names like
They're
Project
probably
Otis.
trying to, like, so what's something
Italian
that
Green
no one will find? It's inconspicuous. Italian Green Pole.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Next up, we have the Battle of the Marshes. I'm going to fuck up some words here because it's Iran versus Iraq. Let me go back to my fucking notes. This is 1984. The Iran-Iraq war has been going on for 4 years. And it's kind of a battle of attrition. Is a small. They have a smaller country, smaller population to pull from. So Iran is kind of just coming at them. But Iraq has coming at him, bro. But Iraq's got tanks and things from Russia. So what Iran decides to do is attack through the Al-Hawazia marshes in Iraq. I hope I got it right. Praise Allah. And they did this because Iraq couldn't use their tanks. So Iraq they held them off for a while, but they were using chemical weapons. And other tricky things, but the thing that really
before you drop chemical weapons, Daddy. It's like nervous laughter. Chemical weapons.
It could have been laughing gas. You know, they could have made him laugh, and they came over and shot him because they couldn't uncontrol laughter. You know,
your delivery was priceless.
Well, the reason I was laughing because I read my notes. My notes are just like a sentence that I know. Okay, to stay in line with this. So that's what I was laughing at.
It's just like a picture of a dick
with green gas coming out of it. Yeah. Okay, so what they another way they decided to hold them off, it was a marsh, right? So the water came up to about chest high, waist to chest high. They used floating mines. They also, because it was murky water, they filled it with barbed wire. And the most shocking thing that they did is they had these giant generators with wires that ran into the water. And so whenever Iran would come and attack, usually by boat or like a little boats, whatever, they would first start off with the mortars, which would force them to get out of the boats. And once they were out of the boats, they would turn the generators on. and
some diabolic
shock the shit out of the water.
Yeah. Iran lost about 50,000. They say 50,000 soldiers. Iraq lost 12,000. Iran considers that they won that because they have a bigger population to pull from.
Right.
Makes it.
We got more fungible.
That's not how any of this works.
Right.
I'm just telling you what the white people said. Okay.
Holy shit!
What people find detestable is that the bodies. What Iraq did with those with a lot of those bodies is they piled them up and used them as like TV propaganda. Just 84. So on Iraq TV, and also what they did was
state-run TV. They're like, look at these bodies we piled up. It's the same math that we used in Vietnam.
Yeah.
Body count.
And so another thing they claim that they did was because it was marshland and they had a better chance of winning with their tanks. But you can't take tanks in marshland. I mean, they had 50,000 or so bodies approximately. They piled those up and used those to help the tanks get traction.
Wow, dude.
To get to certain places.
That's
fucking brutal.
Oh, man. Throw more bodies down there. They didn't have some friction.
And I was like, it was funny. I was reading that part. It was like some suggestions say that they use these bodies to do this with the tanks, but you couldn't really tell. I'm like, yeah, because the tank can crush a tree and some shit. You're not going.
Yeah.
How many bodies do you have to place for a tank doesn't go squish? Oh, we need 600 more. Just put a big pile.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I would think a big tree trunk, the lengthwise. Yeah, that's good traction. Like when you're getting out of the snow with your
car. Not a lot
right?
of tree trunks in Iraq.
Oh,
like big tree trunks.
Touche.
Right,
for some reason, I was still thinking Vietnam.
Word. Oh, we're going back to Vietnam right here. Last but not least, it's known as this is called Project 1000. Have you all heard of this?
Nope.
Also known as McNamara's Folly, McNamara's Morons, and McNamara's Misfits. This is in I think it was 66. he needed more bodies. We need so he's the Secretary of Defense. He thinks he says we need more bodies in fucking in Vietnam. So he starts Project 1000.
That math count came from him, McNamara.
So he the first year he wanted to get 40,000 people, and then every year after that he wanted to get 100,000. And the way that he was going to do this is that he lowered what was required to get into the military. Before you had to have a high school diploma, and you had to get a certain score on this military aptitude test, and you also had to have an IQ of 80. He lowered all of that shit. He let people in that were unfit. Thinks Private Pyle and what's the guy? What's the retard that ran all the way?
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump. Yeah. That shit's historically accurate.
True, yeah. Forrest Gump got into the war.
I mean, and by letting them in, it's not like willingly they drafted them, right?
Well, no, actually, no. They drafted 57% actually joined by their own accord. 43% they got drafted. But the thing was, these people.
Idiots who we would normally not want, we will let them in anyways because they're willing, and then we're also drafting people.
Right, but not just the idiots. It's the people. These people were out of shape. They couldn't pass a fitness exam. They could. Not all of them were below average on IQ things. There are a lot of them that were. But a lot of them, they had emotional problems and things like that, psychological problems, and a lot of them were just fucking out of shape.
Yeah,
right.
A lot of them were just out of shape.
In Iraq.
And the reason that the volunteer part was so high is because a lot of these kids, they were kids, 20 years old, didn't finish high school, and this is in the fucking 60s. So, I mean, the American dream was going, you go get your diploma, go to college, get your wife and you pick a fence, that kind of thing. And these people, really couldn't get jobs. And so they kind of presented them with this way that if you do your service, you get an education, you can, learn how to do something. When you get out, you have money and, you can continue your life. Does that sound familiar? You can be in the fucking army.
Yeah.
So, but they say about between 390 and 400,000 people were sent over in this way. Also, he never mentioned to him that they would be, in doing in like on lines of combat, because he pitched it to him that you can do this, serve your country, make your life better. 73% of these people went to the army, which was the bulk of the fucking on the ground fighting force. Was this was this one of those like magazine courses people read about? Like just basically kind of like, yeah, sign up for this. Huh?
Like, how did they get into this course?
What course? They got.
I thought you said course.
No. They went. They went to the army. 73% went to the army.
Yeah.
The other 30% went to the other ones. They say these people were when they got into their military place of service, they were held to the same standards as the other soldiers. And a lot of them couldn't hack it. So I guess what I mean, like, not course, or I guess like, was it like promotional? Like, hey, losers, sign up. Like, where did these people come from? Well, when they lowered the standard, I mean, I don't know if they did a commercial or anything. I just know they lowered the standards and started taking everybody. And they were telling them that, learn a trade. The whole army, it could be army bullshit that they've been telling.
Well, in the recruiter programs, probably they just told the recruiters like, hey, take any dumb fuck who's down on his luck and tell him. Join the army. Go to Vietnam. Explore the world.
Yeah.
You don't need to be smart to be a human shield.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Pretty much, exactly.
Right. Have illicit children across this.
A lot of these soldiers, they were called. He called them his new standard men. McNamara's new standard men. The military gave him the name fucking McNamara's morons.
Yeah, that sounds more about accurate there.
Because you got to understand, like, a lot of these people, like, the standards to get into the military, even if you got drafted, they didn't want to be there, and you passed that shit, and you didn't want to be there, and then you got this fucking fat moron who gets in, and he wants to be there and shit, and so there was a lot of discrimination against these people, things that other soldiers could do, regular soldiers could do, these guys would get discharged for. A lot of them after their service they did not get an honorable discharge.
Damn.
Strictly because
really.
Yeah,
that's fucked up.
That is fucked up. Because if you're telling them that they could, you know what I mean? Like, they're fucking morons.
Yeah, but they still survive the ordeal.
That's fucked up.
They should at least still get prestige, even if it's even if they're stupid. And they, by the luck of the universe, they survived.
Right.
Yeah,
and they weren't so
they get
stupid.
their fucking prize.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so like it's like when I read about this shit, I was like, holy fucking shit. I was like, I mean, imagine being in you're going through the jungle and the guy that's keeping you alive is Forrest Gump and Bubba. I mean,
I also realized
Forrest Gump was autistic though. It's fucking. Yeah, you're talking more Gomer Pyle fucking going insane and shooting himself. Fucking
Gump's a thing aside though, like all these people who just like you get no fanfare for it. That's like, did they at least get veteran status? I hope. I mean, when they got
if you got dishonorably discharged, you don't get shit.
I mean, not all of them. Not all of them got dishonorably discharged. Most of them did, or a lot of them. So,
just most of them.
Yeah, and that's fucked up too, because let's say they have like Agent Orange, they get cancer from that shit or something.
Well, that's what they said. Like a lot of guys come back. I mean, not only do they get fucked over by their government when they got home. It's gonna take
a lot of lawyers and years to figure out where that came from.
Not only did they get fucked over by their government, when they got home, a lot of these guys, it was the Vietnam War, and the public wasn't happy with it. So a lot of these guys come home and they get spit on and called baby killers and stuff.
Right.
So and then they don't get what they're promised by the military service they served in, and they say they say that these guys
20 years later they watch Forrest Gump and they're like, "Fuck! Look at that guy! He got Jenny."
Yeah, he got Jenny. Shit.
Once.
I got shit.
Once.
And AIDS.
She gave him the AIDS. I was gonna say that, but you beat me to it.
But he did get to shake President Kennedy's hand. So.
True.
Right,
he got every part of Americana.
So that's all the tricky shit, Oracle. Did you all try any tricky shit over in the sands while you were in the military?
Can't talk about that.
Yeah, right.
No. I don't know. I mean, we were definitely. I was just a dumb grunt, so I wasn't privy to any fucking like psyops.
Tricky or not, you
didn't set up any ambushes or some shit just on your own, just going rogue. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
what's not my shit over
you'd
here?
Be surprised. Yeah, you'd be.
You were a squad leader, right? So
and you'd be surprised. As far as like small unit leaders and things like that. There's a lot of leeway in terms of what you have to do, but like you have to be careful with that shit because like I remember this one time we were coming in and we kind of had this crazy platoon sergeant at that time, and he was really like the super gung-ho guy, and we were our detail at that time, we were just manning this checkpoint, and he was kind of like, we're hearing explosions going off in the city and shit like that. He's like, "Fuck this shit, we're going into the city," and it's like, we're not supposed to be doing this, but so we go in at night. We do this patrol in at night, and I mean, this guy, he was so crazy. We go out in the city, and he's just like, "Come on, motherfuckers. Come and get us."
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Just yelling at
shit?
Oh, my God.
Basically wanting shit to go down.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck that, dude. I'd shoot him in the back of the head and be like, he caught a stray from somewhere. I don't know.
But anyway, on our way into the city, because it's the cover of darkness, we do not have, flashlights or anything going. And
we have night vision goggles?
We did have NVGs.
Okay.
But we hear something over the radio, and it's a C-130, and
my God.
And the so the thing is we're not supposed to be there, right?
Right.
And the C-130s seeing us, and they're hearing it on the radio. They're like, they see like targets going in it, like they see unknowns going into the city. So they're like looking at us like they're going to take us out. So that kind of shit.
Jesus Christ.
But that kind of stuff happens all the time.
What an idiot.
Right. And
I'm sure they give people like platoon sergeants the leeway, because if they get caught in a situation where they have to fucking just make the decisions without, you know what I'm saying? Like you get caught in a fucking firefight, you're stuck. You have to make tactical decisions, but they don't think some idiot's going to be like, yeah, let's go down there and fuck them up.
Right.
Or did you find it out live? Like while you're there on the ground following your fucking commander, this harebrained idea, let's get into the city.
Yeah.
And that this fucking gun ship is looking at you.
We found out
only after the fact, or
real time.
Real time. They're like,
yeah,
hey,
I'm sure
real
they
time.
could all hear it.
It was
on
crazy
comms,
too.
yeah.
So after we went in there, and there were no firefights while we were in there. But when we left, that entire route that we walked through like an old cemetery, and we were going through different stuff. So the way that we were in, we heard them
back home.
They called in on the radio, the unit that was in the unit that was supposed to be there. They called in. They were finding IEDs all along the route where we were at. So the enemy was watching us the entire time, and they put bombs where we had gone in anticipation for us to come back. Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. I would have flipped the fuck out. I don't care if he's a fucking commanding officer or not. What the fuck is wrong with you?
That's why I can't go to the military. I mean, like having to blindly follow. No, I just can't.
Yeah.
I'm like, we're going take that hill. I'm going to go the other way. But I've played Call of Duty. I know how to do this. Let's go.
Yeah. So there's
Call of Duty, I know how to do this.
Right.
No, dude, this is good.
Like there's this idea that you can just go off and do rogue stuff, and yes, you can, but there's a big fucking machine going on in the background.
Sure.
Like
dude.
Yeah. And that's when fucked up shit gets happen, is when people are where they're not supposed to be or whatever.
They're supposed to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. So no like crazy spy ship, but I don't know. There's just chaos and confusion all the time.
That's fucking
anyway.
that's
At the stage you were too, it's like, who knows? Like you might have been doing some shady shit. Like I had a friend who, when he served, basically it was like he was the driver, right? For the not without you too much information, but like really high guy, right? And all of a sudden he's got to drive this guy by himself in Iraq without any convoy. At odd hours.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Himself. Yeah, and then it turns out that he was doing like he was skimming off of the all the money that was coming in to try to rebuild Iraq.
Oh wow.
So he was cutting these these side deals, and my friend as the driver
them around, being an accomplice
into
to
these
his
situations to where it's like it was just him driving him somewhere and waiting outside like a Zuber.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's fucked up.
With just only his gun. Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah,
no, he got caught. Never because whatever the higher up guy did get caught and stuff. But
yeah, a situation like that, you get killed by let's say there are other shady like contractors that are supposedly on our side. But then they realize, like, oh, fuck, they're onto us or whatever. Kill the driver out in the... Oh, it was an accident.
Right.
Or, the terrorists got him.
Yeah.
Got him. Fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. Yeah, it's fucked up. Anyway, moving on. What's actually Oracle? New Avatar game.
Yeah.
You're actually playing this, huh?
I am playing this.
Is there
Avatar
a
sexy trailer?
Movie Avatar?
So, based off of the movie Avatar, it's on Pandora. They mention, at least as far as I am in the game, which isn't super far, but they mention Jake Sullivan, who's kind of the protagonist of the Avatar stuff, but he's not there with you. You're kind of like in a different part of Pandora doing your thing. So one thing about this game, it is a good ass looking video game. Like really good looking.
It's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. They're using I think it's called the Snowdrop engine. It just the amount of
it's Ubisoft, right? They did, right?
Yep.
Snowdrop is Ubisoft's engine, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just the amount of detail on the foliage and
the detail of the foliage in the video, you're just like chopping a plant with that fucking gun.
With the gun. It's impressive. It's just like it's been a while since I played a game where I just kind of like stopped and looked around. I was like, wow, this is fucking cool, man. Like just looking at all these different plants and shit like that. Another thing that I really like about this game, so it's basically Far Cry, except it's Avatar.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's kind cool. It's kind of like that. It's got some, crafting elements in it, which is cool. Scavenging, which Far Cry has had that for a long time. It's just, I don't know. It makes more sense because you're a Navi. It's like, oh, I got to make my fucking.
You're a native. Like, I make everything out of the fucking.
So it's kind of cool. The whole conceit of it. One thing that I really like about this game, though, is because these Navis, these are like big ass creatures. Yeah. I don't know how tall they are. They're like fucking 12 feet tall or something like that. And they really do a good job of the traversal through the terrain. So you can like vault up on stuff. You can quickly get your way. So
you have like a parkour element.
Yes, it does have a parkour element, and
like Dead of Light or whatever.
But it isn't like guaranteed. It isn't on rails or anything. You just have these abilities, and if you see like a cliff face or whatever, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to try to figure out a way to get the fuck up that thing.
Can you? So it's like an open world kind of thing. You're free to go around, just like Far Cry. That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So
makes sense.
Yeah. It's getting a lot of positive reviews. A lot of people are really surprised by this. I have Ubisoft Plus, so I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm going to fucking try it out. And yeah, it's pretty neat. I think I'm going to continue playing it. Pretty cool.
James Cameron's just
cool. I kind of want to check it out. I just don't want to pay full price for it. So
yeah, I wouldn't. I would just do the Ubisoft Plus. That's like $15 a month, I believe it is. And then
but the thing is, I own almost every Ubisoft game, so I mean, I wouldn't benefit from getting that, just like one game. But
well, there you go.
That's right. Shun it if you will, Teddy.
Well, I mean, it'll come on Game Pass or some shit. It'll go cheaper. Christmas time it'll go on sale or something. Get 30% off.
I'll wait till that bitch is desperate.
Yeah. Next up, we got Mistic with Twisted Metal. He liked the show. The show was pretty good, huh?
The show's pretty good. I did like it.
Yeah.
It's
Will Arnett is Sweet Tooth.
It's a good adaptation of the game. Like it's as over the top, ridiculous, and funny as the game was.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's listed as a comedy, but it is it's brutal in some parts, dude. It's fucking brutal. Like I'm like, God damn.
Yeah.
And like Sweet Tooth he's played by Will Arnett. The voice, the character is played by a wrestler. He's some fucking Asian wrestler who's just a massive fucking human being. But the action's great. It's absolutely over the top because it's Twisted Metal.
Who's the female?
That's Beatrice. That's the chick who plays Diaz on
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She's great too. Actually, she's a very good actor, like in a serious role, because there's some parts in this where it's fucking pretty nuts.
Get serious.
Yeah, but it's a good show. It's worth.
Is it on Hulu or
if
what?
you don't, no, it's on Peacock. Yeah. If you don't have Peacock, I mean, I would pay for it. I don't know that I would pay a lot of money for it, but you bootleg it. You know what I mean?
If you don't have. Well, Peacock is it's kind of free. You can watch some certain things on there, so you get to watch the first 2 episodes. You get to watch the first 2 episodes for free. So
it might come back. I mean,
Nev Campbell's in it.
Pay a couple bucks for it.
Yeah, she's the bad guy.
Head of San Francisco.
Nev Campbell. Kind of like after Scream, it feels like whatever happened to her. She's still doing shit.
She got old. She can't do Wild Things 7 anymore.
Wild Things 7. What was that movie that was? This looks very similar in flavor of where it was, but it was kind of like a Twisted Metal, like car combat race thing, post-apocalyptic.
Death Race.
Jason Statham.
Death Race.
What's that movie called? Death Race. That's it.
You win 10 races, you get to go free.
Which is kind of a remake of Death Race 2000.
Of the original, which
which still
that's a great movie. Death Race
Yes,
2000, the
which
old
in a
one.
sense you could say kind of probably influenced the Twisted Metal video game.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There's almost direct fucking correlations with Roadkill and that fucking Corvette that dude drove in Death Race 2000. You know what I mean? Like just the way it looks and shit. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Kind of nostalgic and hot rod.
Yeah. Up next, Teddy with the green suspended indefinitely. I didn't have a what's sexy. I got a new phone today. I was gonna make that my what's sexy. When I saw he got suspended indefinitely. I don't. I'm not a big fan of Draymond Green. I think he's a dirty player.
I know a lot of people are because he's fucking dirty as fuck.
He's a dirty fucking player. I mean, a lot of
dirty fuckers are fans of dirty fuckers.
He's an offensive liability. He's a great defensive player, but he's a dirty bitch, man.
What the fuck did this guy do?
Oh, look at it.
It was like,
what doesn't he do? Just
like dramatic, like I'm not punching you, but I'm punching you.
And you could just type in Draymond Green, and there will be a fucking
he punched
all the fucking.
Ashtray doesn't even know anything about him, but he saw that.
I mean, he stepped on people. He's done things and tried to play it off. I'm like, dude, it's not the '80s anymore. I'm like, you're not big. You're not the reincarnation of Bill Laimbeer.
He's a basketball in Dominican suit.
Yeah,
basketball
in Dominican suit. Yes, it's a very good. They say he's gonna have to do some
player Ashtray.
Meet some league and team standards to get back in. I hope he's out for the rest of the season.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, I've seen it, but it's
I haven't seen it. Maybe our viewers haven't
seen it. I say Ashtray can't be talking about it. Or
what the fuck? He's just like flailing around.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm just flailing around. Kabam!
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. This is his second suspension of the season, and they're not even halfway. I don't think they're even halfway through.
Yeah,
right?
he got suspended the first time because he got fucking what's his face in a headlock.
He put the guy in a choke lock. Yeah, came behind and put him in a fucking choke.
Accidental choke lock.
He straight up knocked out one of his fucking teammates in practice too.
Wow.
Say what?
Like that was actually a really good punch. That fucking knockout where he fucking knocked that dude out. In
was that like something they released later?
No, it had like they showed it like when it happened because I mean he fucking.
Oh, I thought you said it was at practice.
Yeah, but there's video. Like it's fucking.
Okay, so I'm saying after he knocked someone out, like the video.
Well, yeah, after fucking the video leaked. I'm just saying it happened in not real time or anything.
Exactly. It sounded like it was live practice.
It wasn't months later. It was like that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
Ashtray's awesome shit. You always do. You control the drugs. Don't let the drugs control you. Okay. Moving on. Ashtray, DD, emasculator.
Oh, yeah. So I had the corporate Christmas party where I was texting you guys. I'm like, oh, man, this might be the last big one, right? This trucking logistics company where it's great. It's like when the CEO is a black man who loves 90s hip hop, it's easy. You get the dance floor going all night. Because everybody wants to come out and dance with the boss, right? And so it's a. This
maybe
is my
in
third
your
year.
world.
Not if you're racist.
Not my world.
In some states, it's still frowned upon, sir.
No, and okay. You could say racist, and say even if he wasn't a black man.
No, nobody wants to be.
I don't want to dance with my goddamn boss.
Yeah, I don't understand why you think that's a thing. Nobody wants to fucking dance with their boss.
Okay, Brandon, none of you. No, not you're dancing with the boss, but like the boss is out there dancing. More people come out. Let's put it that way. That's when
I start filming and laugh.
Oh, shut up. Whatever. You guys are having DJ corporate parties. I know what it's like. When like you have a corporate party where the actual like person throwing that corporate party is out there busting a move. Like everyone comes out. Nonetheless, so this is
their ass kissing pieces of shit. I guess
I'm sure that might be a part of it. That's the only reason you'd be out there with your.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not going to go kiss someone's ass.
Right, point. Nonetheless, this is third year. Like, it's always the baller Christmas party. I get to work at the Edgewater, like the most expensivest hotel in the fucking Madison Isthmus. And so my coworker, one of the other DJs for the company I work for, is also like he works for this company. And so him and his wife, this is the third year that they've been a part of it. And like, I'm sure part of it is like he has like, yeah, just book my father's company, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, wrapped up the party, and his wife, who I can only describe as like, think of like Suicide Girl who does CrossFit. She's like, Greg D, you're the best DJ for this company. You're better than my husband. You're better than my husband's father who started the company.
Jesus.
I know. And I'm just like, this is like halfway across the whole like banquet hall. And all I can say is, shut up. And my coworker, her husband, he's like, thank you. She's like, you were the best DJ for this company. I'm like, all right. All I can do is like, I'm like fucking blushing, right? But she made this like scene in front of everyone. And then she as I'm packing shit up, she'd come over and she's like, no. She's like, I saw you, like her and her husband, like they were fiancé at the time. Or like maybe they're just dating, but they were at a wedding of another friend of theirs where I was the DJ. And she was like, from that gig, like I wanted you, like you were the DJ that had to do it. And then the fucking pandemic hit. And, you know, we had this like pandemic wedding and had to have his dad do it. And so it's like, we're saying this, she's like, you're the best fucking DJ. And he's like coming up, he's like, all right, honey, let's go. And she's like, no, he is the best DJ of the company. He's like, I know, you said that in front of everyone. And I'm like, I'm just like fucking gleaming. I'm like, I'm just a simple farm boy who's basking in this glory. And I can't contest this. But I can totally understand that you're like, honey, shut the fuck up. So, yeah. Man, it's like a fucking feeling where like I was like barely keep my eyes open, like, ooh. Haven't heard anything yet, but nonetheless, sexy feeling.
Still being a balling ass DJ. You yelled at me at my wedding, by the way. You were still a good DJ.
Oh yeah, all that energy I spent, and I fucking almost killed myself. The Oracle had to get the fucking door open. I'm still passed out.
Right. Oh, when he was fucking non-responsive in the fucking hotel.
Dead because I wouldn't wake up to the call.
Yes.
I felt really bad about that. I'm like, oh my God. I would hate to have to
bad you didn't walk in and find him more like a male prostitute.
Oh, I'd rather.
That hotel guy was really cool, though. He just opened the door. He's like, okay, dude.
He's in there.
Do it. He's in there. All right. Good luck. See ya.
I don't want to be around.
Right.
Find out the drama.
Just throw the body out
the elevator without scream. I'm sure that's what he's thinking. Because he's like, I've been here before.
It is, yeah. That hotel is known for some things. That's why I chose it. Moving on to the fuck with you think. We're gonna start off with Oracle, boring ass narrators. Hey, this is mine the other week ago.
Yeah, well, I think this is a little bit of a different flavor. So I've been getting back into listening to audiobooks. Buying that podcasts, like sometimes it's good and entertaining, but a lot of times it's kind of like really surface level stuff. You don't really necessarily get into
the same shit kind of repeated.
Yeah, and you kind of just don't really drill down. You're getting kind of the cliff notes of, even if you hear somebody that you like, you're just getting the very kind of top kind of stuff, which is good. It introduces you to somebody. But anyway, so I've been listening to some audiobooks, and the last one that I listened to was actually David Goggins. He's the like super
runner guy,
workout runner guy, Navy SEAL guy, just like super motivated kind of dude, and which of course that's like high energy, and it was really cool too because he actually had kind of like it was almost like a podcast thing that he would do, like behind the scenes stuff beyond the text, where he'd be having a casual conversation. It was really engaging and really entertaining. I'm like, okay, well, finish that up. Time for the next one. And I just kind of picked something that was recommended for me, and I start listening to it, and it's just like, man, if somebody is just like some people's voices or whatever, it's just boring as fuck. And I'm just like finding myself like falling asleep almost. It's like, the fuck? Like, I'm not hearing anything you're saying. Like, I don't comprehend anything that you're saying right now because my brain is just not engaged.
Are you on Audible?
So is it like a soothing, it's just banal?
Yeah, it's just banal. I don't know what it is. I think it's kind of just the intonation, like dynamic range or something. I mean, granted, this was a book.
What was the topic of the book?
The topic of the book was kind of it was about kind of our lack of free will.
There's your problem.
It was like a philosophy type book. So yeah, I mean, right. So
not hard to be high energy and fucking entertaining.
And I get it. Like, there's a lot of science that's actually proven free will wrong. But at the same time, the more you dig into it, it's like,
free will. We're going to talk about it. Let's go.
Yeah, I know.
I have the free will to say, fuck you, free will.
You know, and that was a big mistake by me because that's basically the exact opposite of what David Goggins is saying. Like, you got to get out there and you got to fuck shit up. And then this book's like, anything you do does not matter.
Well, the universe could have wrote it all along that David Goggins is why you decided to better yourself.
Right.
And if so be it. Like, whatever.
I don't know. So I made it like 5 minutes. I was like, I can't do this. At least right now, I can't fucking do it. I got to do a different book. So, yeah.
Dude, 2 recommendations for fun. One would be the Bible read by James Earl Jones. It's fucking awesome.
How long is that? How many hours?
It's the whole fucking. It's long, but it's you can pick a chapter, whatever. I'm not religious, but having Darth Vader read certain
I'm
parts
not
of the
religious,
Bible,
but
having Darth Vader read you certain parts of the Bible is just fucking. I'm like, I should go to the dark side. It's awesome. They have if you like good narrators, they have the autobiography of Malcolm X, but it's Lawrence Fishburne's the one who reads it. It's pretty good.
Nice.
I've only finally got a new phone, but I would say like my old twos. Catch-22. You listen to that on Audible?
I haven't, but
I haven't. It's on Audible. Is that
Fear and Loathing is really good.
Fear and Loathing.
I've got Fear and Loathing.
I haven't listened to that more than any other audiobook. Probably
Terry
was good. Any book that Terry McClarty, I think his name is, the guy who did Fear and Loathing. That dude is an incredible narrator.
Yeah. The Catch-22 also because there's so many characters in it, having I mean, it's the same guy, but
American
it really
Gods
helps you realize
like that.
I've heard that one.
Older, but like,
it's got
how
the full,
influential
the full
that
cast.
book was.
That was pretty cool.
That and Fear and Loathing, I was gonna say, are my 2 like top listened to books.
The guy who did Anansi Boys is really good. Is a British guy.
Stephen Fry reads Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Pretty good.
I've not listened to that.
Next up is Mystic Small Talk. Fuck it.
That's it, man. Small talk. I fucking hate it. It makes no sense.
All right. That's why you started a podcast.
You don't give a fuck about me. I don't give a fuck about you. Let's just say hi and move on with our lives. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to be like,
you're the reason why everyone hates
today, right?
people.
No.
No,
okay,
not
maybe.
Yeah. I hate people.
You're right. I don't care. No, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying?
That is just standard civil pleasantries.
And that's fine. I'll say hi. But I don't want you to stop me and be like, oh, how's your day going? Oh, what happened to your foot? We've been working together for 2 years.
What happened to your foot?
About my fucking foot.
You ever noticed my RoboCop foot?
Now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, why are you fucking talking to me? Go away.
Sure. There's actually layers to it. You just made it sound like just nobody talk to me. Look, you're so
not like that. It's just I don't care that people come over and
socialize.
I just don't want to have it be just ridiculous shit nobody gives a fuck about. Like if you come over and you're like, you know what? I had this fucking thought today where I was like, who was it? Oh, when Bill Belichick gets fired at the end of the season, I think Fox or somebody should hire him, but it should be just like the weather guy from fucking Family Guy. You know what I mean? They'll be like,
Right.
hey, that was a great play. Let's go to Bill for the update. And he's like, that play sucked. And then you just go back to the thing.
Yeah, just a little segment. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to have a conversation.
Yelled answers.
Yes, absolutely. That would be so fantastic.
No. He said when they fired Belichick.
Oh man, that would be pretty great.
They're gonna don't.
Yeah.
Don't fret. Anyway,
I think I'll get one more year. All right, cool. Next up is me with Holy Fucking Scam Batman. Oracle, if you could roll that beautiful bean of footage. The first part is it'll say trailer, and then the second part it'll say like reality. There was a game that was announced back in 2001, I believe.
2001.
It was called the day before.
Damn, dude.
It was supposed to be a post-apocalyptic zombie game, kind of like The Division meets The Last of Us or some shit. You know, people were excited. I mean, you can't really fall for trailers anymore because you want to
Can't trust them.
You really can't because I mean,
well, they're sneaky. That's their whole job.
Yeah, that's their whole job.
Right?
I mean, yeah,
just like the movie trailer.
And in video games, there's a lot of things they showed you do in trailers, especially graphics that when the game comes out is not there. This game was made by a developer called Fnatic. 3 days before this game came out, before the game came out, years before, there was nothing really heard on it. People wondered what happened to it. They said that they lost they were in a court battle to get the name the day before from another company because it's a Korean company that made it. 3 days before the game comes out, they say we're not scammers. Don't call us scammers. Which is
give us
something weird to say. They had no beta testing on this. It was rumored that it was all being done by the game was being made by volunteers. The game comes out, looks like shit. It's a piece of shit. It's supposed to be a zombie apocalypse game. There's if you watch videos I've watched videos of it, there's people will play for 2 hours and only run into one zombie in the city. It was just a piece of shit. It was $40 on Steam. Got immediately downvoted. And then 3 days after, they ended up selling I think 210,000 copies on Steam for $40. And then 3 days after that, the company shuts down. They say that that it was because the game was a failure. They had to pay off that they can't, they didn't make enough money to fix it. So the studio shut down 2 days after.
Like, oh yeah, we borrowed this money to make it, and then it sucked.
Yeah, this is crazy. Did they forget to put the zombies in the game? Like, what the fuck?
Dude, it's crazy because like the controls are so retarded. They build the game as an open world survival horror shooter, whatever.
What was it called again?
The day before.
The day before.
The day before.
Oh, I think I saw the headlines with this term in it. I seen it.
Steam has immediately they have refunded everybody who bought the game regardless. The company 2 days after they said we're shutting down, they rebranded and came out again as a new company. I think it's called the Back Nine or something retarded. They came out with another crappy game on Steam years ago. So this is fucking crazy. They kind of took the money and run. So they did have some guys over because it's over in I think Singapore. I think it was where they're supposed to be based at. That's where some people went to their office and they found out the office doesn't exist. It was like a what's one of those places like
a shell company or something.
Well, it was one of those business share things,
Oh,
co-op or workspaces.
Yeah, co-op workspaces. Yes, it was one of those. So people, it's these two brothers, and it's fucking crazy that they did this.
Wow.
We haven't done
Are there any? Did they just not have AI for the zombies or something? And
the thing was, it's funny because people think once hackers been getting into this shit. Somebody on Reddit went through the entire map because the map is apparently not that big. It's asset that they bought off of Epic Store and shit. Mm-hmm. And went to the game and cataloged every asset and found it on another.
Yeah, it was just kind of like a marketing ploy for a cobbled together map.
Yep.
And we forgot the zombies.
Yeah, dude. There's people. I mean, there's people who played for hours and like found like 1 or 2 zombies. You know.
And I guess like I don't know. I'm sorry, but I gotta laugh at you, motherfuckers. Like playing too many fucking video games. Playing too many fucking video games.
What does that have to do with a video game? That'd be like watching too many movies and you watch a shitty one. You're like, fuck, I watched too many movies.
I don't know. We put that many hours and like, I gotta find where these zombies are. Wouldn't you at first within the first like?
Well, I don't think Teddy or Oracle did it.
No, I'm not saying
it was only.
Teddy's saying like they're. That's why I'm saying like these motherfuckers are like, I'm gonna scour this entire fucking game for that zombie.
Yeah, right.
It's like, dude,
yeah. After 10 minutes, I'd be like, this is fucking lame.
Like you got a problem.
Yeah. Awesome, but yeah, it's just fucking crazy. We'll see as the story unfolds because Steam just lost a lot of money.
Oh shit.
To it.
They can afford it.
Right. I know that's a drop in the bucket for Steam.
Whatever. Up his ashtray with not shit.
Yeah, exactly. Because, work drama that I already bitched you guys about, so thank you for listening.
No, tell the world, man. I can hear it again.
No, I ain't gonna tell the world. It's
okay. Cool story.
It's already 11:15.
Be careful.
All right.
Yeah, like you said, we can't get him to shut up. I'm shutting up.
Don't poke the bear.
Holy shit, it worked. When truth and honesty makes your friends hate you. In all seriousness, that's our show. Go fuck yourself, San Diego. We're going to be here every Wednesday, Thursday night. Pretty much Thursday night, 10 p.m. Central. Make sure you join the conversation at the Red Eye Report. Or Facebook.com/theredreport.com or Facebook.com/theredreport.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, sorry,
USPS.com.
USPS.com. You can't twiddle us because we don't do that shit. Like and share some fucking
stuff.
Can't access.
Yeah, you can't access.
We're banned. We're fucking banned on X. We have like a perpetual ban.
I mean, the Red Eye Report should be banned.
They fucking brought back Alex Jones.
One of the coolest podcasts is
Alex, did they really?
Yes.
And Trump are back on the motherfucker.
But we can't make it
still
back.
banned.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Thanks, Mistic.
Tagline. Red Eye Report.
Still banned on it.
230 X.
Jesus, dude.
Still banned on X. Look, I'm Teddy.
Did we finish? What's going on? Wow, we just jumped all over that.
You're damn right we did.
Yeah, we started to finish, and then he said, we're still banned on X. And then we went our whole little shit. And that's our show. Fuck you. Red Eye Report out.
Boom.
Red Eye Report out.
Teddy Rick, bitch.